Hi you guys, so today's video is going to be about all the books that I have managed to completely finish in the year 2024. So it's not much. I actually have many unfinished books from 2024, so I'm not gonna include that. Instead, I'm gonna make one more video where I'm gonna finish all the unfinished books of 2024. Okay, so there are many, like there are so many books that are just unfinished. So I am gonna make a video on that, and let's not get into it. So this video is about all the books that I have managed to read in 2024. It's not much. I have done a lot of audiobooks and I have done a lot of ebooks. So they also come in this. So they are more like, these are all the books that I managed to buy, and in my small little home I'm able to give them a place. But not all that I've managed to read in this year are in this list. So I'm also going to share that. I have done a couple of audiobooks because I traveled quite a lot in 2024, so I was listening to a lot of podcasts and audiobooks. So a list of audiobooks is also coming your way. So let's start with, as my memory permits, I guess I started with something. So I have been out of, like, not reading for quite some time, and I guess since COVID happened I got into a habit of, like, let's just start reading. It doesn't matter how much I read, it's just that I used to read a lot, and in college, in school, and then I just stopped reading. And then COVID happened, and that was the time when we all have, like, introspected our lives, and we understood as to so many things that we love we just stopped doing because life happened. And because of COVID I got a lot of time to think about it, and I really wanted to get back to reading. I love storytelling, I love fiction, and my life is so much about stories that I tell. And through my art, through whatever work that I do, I am such a, like, I love storytelling in any form. So yeah, so I just wanted to get back into books, and one of my favorite YouTuber who reads a lot, I don't remember his name, I will put it here or somewhere on while I'm editing. He recommended that this was a good read, and I thought it would be really mind-blowing, because when I was young I used to read a lot of books from people who are not established authors on platforms like Wattpad and Smashword, and there were other platforms also where these authors were not established. They just had written a couple of books and then put them on online platforms, and they used to write amazingly. Okay, the characters these people wrote, who were just 16-year-old, 17-year-old, the characters that they wrote were so amazing. Like, I used to fall in love with those characters, and the place where it was happening, I could really completely imagine. So I don't know what it is. It is my thing. It's a me thing where I've aged and I'm not able to now connect with characters very easily. Now I have a lot of, perspective and age on my side, where I'm not able to relate to these characters as easily as I could when I was young. Maybe I was more accepting by, or just, I don't know, established authors. I don't know what it is about. I feel like when I read an established author, I should fall for the characters more, right? But I don't. And then I started with this books, and this book, in retrospect, it was a great book. But when I started with so many expectations in my mind that it didn't stood up to all those expectations, those great expectations. But in retrospect, this was a great book, because there are books which disappointed me more than this book. So yeah, and that is what I think. Not reading a good books, like, puts you in a funk, and then it takes a lot of courage to pick up another book and to spend so much time and then again not like it. So yeah, that is what happens when that is what actually gets you in a reading funk, I think. So anyways, I don't want to rant anymore. The first book is It Happened One Summer. It's from Tessa Bailey. I really like this author. This author's personality comes through and through. Like, you know what to expect from this author. This author's second book I have read, or I've done an audiobook for her second book, but her first book I like bought a copy, and this was really such a nice read. Like, when I was reading it, I was expecting a bit more, but later I thought, no, yeah, this was a really good book. So the story is about Piper and this other guy. Now I don't remember the character's name that well. Piper and I don't know the male character's name is Sea Captain Brendan. So Piper and Brendan. So I forgot the name of the character. I remember Piper. Brandon I forgot. So Piper is basically a rich girl from city, and she gets into a scandal that makes her move to this small little town from where her biological father is. So now she lives with her stepfather and her mother, and a scandal happens, and that makes her move to the small little town, which basically the main occupation of this town is fishing, and they have this culture of fishing, and they have these sea captains who go on this massive fishing hunting mission, and Brandon is one of them who goes on this sea voyages, catches fishes, which is like the main occupation of this particular small town. And Brandon is actually what do you call them, not a divorcee, but in the case where your other half dies, widower. He's a widower, and her personality and his personality is quite different, but somehow they just fall for each other. And the story, I don't want to give you any spoilers, but the setting of the small town is amazing. You can literally picturize the small town, you can literally picture in your head. So she writes in a way where you can really imagine this scene, where the scene is happening, how the scene is happening. So there are these major scenes in any romantic novel, right, where the confession happens, where they meet for the first time, where the apartment of the character, where majority of the story may be unfolding. It could be a cafe or an apartment or like a restaurant. So all those descriptions are so amazing, and I just love. I don't know why she is lesser famous than some of the other authors I have here, and I want Tessa Bailey to be more famous. A proper romantic comedy kind of a book. Please give this. This is a very quick read, a very good read, and I would highly recommend It Happened Over Summer. Then after this, I don't remember the order I've read the books, but I remember the order in which I bought them. So probably I read this first, and then Things We Never Got Over. Things We Never Got Over by Lucy Score. This again is a book. I mean, when you start reading this book is quite entertaining. But you know, if you read a lot of books of similar genre, for example, if you read suspense thriller, or if you read psychological thriller a lot, you start picking up on patterns, right? You know what is going to come up next, you know what is going to happen next. So the author, after a while, to really entice these readers who read a lot, the story really has to be good. So I think now I go into the category where I can pick up patterns quite well. So I know what was coming in this book. So that's the reason why I like half the book down, I was like, I know what's going to happen in this book and how it's going to happen. You know, it's not something completely unpredictable as to some part of the story was still there, she was holding on to some part of the story. It wasn't like that, you know. So in that case, it has a little bit of suspense in it, and it is a story of a twin sister, and the other sister, and something happens in her. Something happens in the female lead's life which makes her move, just run away from that particular this thing, and then she comes to this small town again, and this small town apparently has a very bad reputation of hers, not hers, her twin sisters. So her twin sister has created a very bad reputation and they think she's her. So that is where the story starts, and then she meets this guy who runs a bar which is also a hair salon. And so all of that, like you do relate to the character, because there are authors who also feel to do that. So the characters are quite nice. I wanted to know more about the male character, like I would love to know more about the male character, more about the female character as well, as she what she likes, what she's like. That is what will make me connect to that, right? So I feel the work on the characters should be done more nicely, so that I am like, why should I read such a big book? I should be heavily invested in the character, right? As to what is happening in this person's life now. So I feel that is where it was lacking, but otherwise the story where it is set in that small town, all of that, very nice. Side character, amazing. I loved the side character more than I loved the main characters. And also the side characters do get their individual books eventually, so yeah, the side characters had to be that great for that to happen. So I've read another book of hers, Lucy Score's another book I've read. This book was Things We Never Got Over. And then I would go on to Sally Rooney. All of us must have read Normal People, or must have seen Normal People by Sally Rooney, and I thought so the book would also be that great, a conversation with friends. So I guess she writes very differently. Okay, now all these three authors so far, they all write very differently from each other, and you might find authors which are similar to Lucy Score, which are similar to Tessa Bailey, but Sally Rooney has a very unique way of writing. So I would just recommend you to read this book, not for the story of it, but for the way the person has written. And she has a very, very unique way of seeing the world, I feel. And that is what a writer is, right? I feel the writer has such a unique way of seeing the world that we read their writing because of how they see the world. So yeah, just for that I would recommend this book. This book is about having a love story which is very unconventional. She falls for a guy who's already married, and yeah, it's just this person, the female lead. We navigate the book through female lead's life, and I am not that impressed with this book, but because of the way the writer writes, I feel you should have a new perspective in your life. Only for that sake, I would recommend this book. And it's sad book. It's not. Don't read this book if you want to relax. Don't read this book if you are already in a sad mood. Don't. But otherwise, if everything is going fine, and if you want to read a book, pick this book up. If you are in a bad mood, and if you want to relax, read this book. It happened one summer. Then, if you are into a kind of romance which is very old school, and you have never read a romantic book before, read this book. This book has even halfway through this book, I knew what was going to happen. Especially in this book, I knew what was going to happen. I mean, the Spanish love deception. Please, why is this book so famous? I'm not saying this book is bad, okay, but if you are someone who reads a lot of romantic books, you just know what is coming, okay. It's so big. as to I knew what was going to happen. Like this, I must have read this much, and I knew what was going to happen. Nothing new in this book. Just if you're a quick reader and if you haven't read many romantic books, or if you went through a phase which was very many ages ago, then again, if you want to get into a romantic book, maybe start with this very typical romantic book. They work, like they are working in the same office. Then there is this wedding happening. Then she needs a wedding date, so she takes him, and yeah, all of that. Okay, I want to be really honest. Okay, so yeah, I wasn't happy. And why is this book so hyped? It's hyped on TikTok apparently when I read this. And then Spy Family, I read this manga, very nice manga. This is some random, like fifth edition of this manga, but I really liked it. If I had a lot of money, I would purchase all the parts of this manga, and if I had a lot of space also, I would buy. So Spy Family, I would recommend. It is also an animated series. Go watch it. Again, a very unique story, gets you hooked on. It has everything: suspense, love story, strong characters. Yeah. These authors like these make you take a good story for granted, because they do it so effortlessly that you think, like, of course you should be able to write like a good character, like a good story. You should be able to do it. And then you read some authors and you're like, oh, it's a tough job. It's only when it's sad that only when you see a job badly done, that you value a job which was done correctly, and then you realize you took that for granted, huh? Because turns out it is a difficult job, because see, at this good book. Then again, an author whom I don't understand why she is so hyped. No, sorry, I'm gonna end this out. Again, an author who is very viral on TikTok. I read this book of hers, Twisted Lies. I have read Twisted Hate also, and one more book that I want to read is the one where the Reese character is, and I'm going to start reading that book very soon. And I guess I've read the first part also, I guess, of Twisted Love. I have read Twisted Love. I have read Twisted Lies also. This year only I have read Twisted Love. I have read Twisted Lies. I have read Twisted Hate, and whatever remains is what I need to read. This was a good book. Again, I could see some common patterns that happen in every book. This doesn't disappoint, nor does it amaze you. But I would, if you like romantic with a lot of spicy stuff in them, romantic books with a lot of spicy stuff, yeah, this smut basically. If you like reading smut, this is a good smut. And now a book which I truly like, which doesn't require spicy stuff, hot stuff, because I really respect and I'm really in love with the characters. This Powerless, Lauren Roberts, she needs to be more famous, please. Now this is a genre which I wouldn't enjoy. Okay, so this is a romantic book, but it's a fantasy romance. It's Hunger Games like, and like a fiction, supernatural, fantasy, all of that. I just have one complaint, that the world wasn't well established, but otherwise the characters, I love the characters in this book. Powerless, the main female lead, she is a badass bitch, and I love it. I read all these books that I've read so far, I wouldn't like recommend it for a teenager or like to read it, because then you might idealizing, like you might have the idea that you have in your head about like a strong female woman, as to how a woman in her 20s 30s should be like. Then you might think that this is how they should be like. No, please. So only because all these women, I'm not impressed by the female leads. For me to fall for a book, I feel I have to fall for the female. Like the female lead should be so badass and like strong, or the male lead should be like so like not just good looking. Like the way he behaves should be like so correct, like so like a feminist, a guy written by a female, like so well written, no toxicity, like really nice. So I love the male lead and the female lead in this book, so that is why this book is amazing. I have respect for all the people in this book, and I have respect for the storyline. Everything in this book is awesome. I'm reading the second part now. I'm on Reckless, and the last one is Powerful. So Powerless by Lauren Roberts. Powerless by Lauren Roberts. Highly recommend. All the books are done. Now let's go on audiobooks and the books that I've read on like digitally. So digitally this year I have read Twisted Hate. I told you Twisted Hate. I read Final Offer also. Twisted Hate by Anna Wong. How do you say that? Anna Wong. Yeah. In Twisted Hate, he's a doctor. She is a lawyer, and they both are like very career driven, and it's very dark romance. Okay, very dark romance. And I used to read dark romance when I was a teenager, and as I have grown, I have grown into a woman who loves normal things more, because I think it takes a lot of effort it takes a lot of strength to not be an extreme. It's very easy to have extreme choices in your life. It's very easy to go to the extremes. Okay, so I highly recommend. I love the balance. So yeah, you might say I've become boring, but yeah, in my late 20s I just don't enjoy dark romance that much. But there are people who do, and I'm not judging, because I used to be one of them in my teens, in my early 20s. But yeah, Twisted Hate, if you like smart, if you like dark romance, characters are nice, story is nice, you should read it. Again, I respect those characters as well, because even in Twisted Hate, the female character is quite strong. I like her. So then The Right Move, like Liz Tomford. Now I don't remember what went in this book. I guess it was a brother's best friend. Let me see. Yeah, The Right Move. He is an NBA player, and she is, and they are pretending to have a fake relationship. And I really don't remember what went in this book, but this was a good book, I feel. I mean, the way she has, so what happens sometimes is, even though the plot is done 10,000 times, the way you do it might be unique, and then that is what makes readers read it. So in this author's case, I feel even though the plot is very done like 10,000 times, the way she has done is quite unique. So I did read this book, though I'm not able to recall as to how the book was, but it was good. I didn't like regret reading it, so it was good. You should read. It was a nice book. I don't remember whether it was like dark romance or something like that. It was like a normal read. Then I read Hook, Line and Sinker by Tessa Bailey. Yeah, this is also a good book. The the book's premise is very interesting. Then she is sister of Tessa, who is into entertainment industry. She's trying to become a producer. I think she's at an assistant position, and then there is this guy who is again, this is the same town, okay, and earlier when Tessa comes to this town, her sister also accompanies her for a while. So that is where she meets our male lead, and the male lead has a reputation of being a Casanova, and our female lead is she's strong in her own way, and so she's strong and soft at the same time. So I just love how Tessa Bailey writes. I'm just fan. Like she empowers her character, still she will maintain the feminities, the soft femininity in a character that is still there, but it doesn't take away from her not being a strong woman. Okay, so yeah, you should read Hook, Line and Sinker. This I did as an audiobook. It was a great book. Then what I've read, Final Offer also I've read this year. I think Final Offer is about these three brothers, and Final Offer is the one where this brother who is the most so there are these three brothers, okay, and Fine Print also I read this year, and I read the other one also. I've read all three books, and I've read all three on digital platforms, so I don't have the physical copy. Final Offer by Lauren Asher. Do I have Lauren Asher's other book somewhere? No. So Final Offer, then Terms and Condition also have read, and I have read Fine Print also. So there are these three brothers who are all three billionaires, and so their respective story. Fine Print, and so this is basically if Disneyland, they own something similar to Disneyland. Okay, so first brother story, we get to see how this company is and how the functioning of this company is, and our female lead is working within the company, and in that story is also very cutesy story, and then in the other part, she's the assistant of the eldest son. The second book is of the eldest son, and then the third book is about the middle brother. Okay, I think so. I could be wrong because I read this a while back. It's been a year now. So out of all three books, I would say I really like the last one, Final Offer. In Final Offer, he has inherited this house, but apparently it also has been inherited by his childhood love, childhood person he dated in high school or childhood, and it turns out she has a son out of the relationship that they had, and he doesn't know whether it's his son, but he really looks like him and behave like him, and they are in a position where they really don't know who has inherited this house, and he gets into a deal with his grandfather where he has to sell this house or something like that. So interesting premise, interesting book. I would recommend a read. Then maybe this time, this is an Audible original, and if you have an Audible subscription, if you're subscribed to Audible, I would recommend you to read this maybe this time. I really love this book. Yeah, this is like a science fiction romance book. So she is somehow she went through this dark hole. What do you call it? Dark hole, black hole. She went through this black hole, or this time black hole only. She went through this black hole, and now she has went 200 years ahead in time, or some amount of time in future. And so now she is trying to communicate to her present self and tell her, or past self, and tell her not to go through that hole when she'll encounter it. And in the process of doing that, instead of getting in contact with her past self, she gets in contact with this other person, and then she tells this other person to go and tell her old self to not do that, or somehow make him avoid that, make him do something which makes her not go through that black hole. So their interaction starts, and both those characters, I felt as if those characters are real, like they are real life characters. Like you could relate to their struggles, you could relate to their personalities, and highly relatable characters, and believable, like you could believe. And the people who have done the voiceover, they have done a really great job. So if you could get an audio copy of this book, maybe this time by Cara Banstone, okay, Bastone, Bastone. I would recommend this book. Then I did a Ruskin Bonds book also, where audiobook, Ruskin Bonds audiobook. I went through a lot of Ruskin Bonds audiobook. I went to Missouri also this year, so I didn't get to see his library and where he lives, but I get to see all the places that he had described in his book. And I was listening to his books when I was traveling, and then to actually go to that place and see that place, I was just mesmerized. And yeah, so this encompasses all the books that I've read in 2024. I actually had forgotten about Fine Print and Final Offer and Terms and Conditions. But yeah, I read those also. So I've read a lot of romance books this year. I wish I could. I guess Ruskin Bond is the only author who didn't belong to romantic category. But otherwise also I would like to add some non-fiction to my reads. I would like to add some biographies, historical fiction, and yeah, some other genres as well. So I think Sally Rooney's Conversation with Friends doesn't really fall in romantic book category. So I guess I read Spy Family also is not a romantic book category. So like two books that I've read three books that I've read this year don't fall into romance book category, but I am a heavy romance reader. That's how it has been. That is how it has been all through my life. But I want to pivot towards other genres as well. So yeah, in the coming year, I hope to read more non-fiction than I usually read. So something like Yuval Noah Harari's book. I have started *Sapiens* also a long time back. I haven't finished it. So there are a lot of books that I have started this year, like in 2024, but I haven't finished them. So what do you think? Should I make a series in which I finish all my unfinished books? So I guess that was the recap of all the books that I've read in 2023, and I hope you like the video. And please let me know what all books did you read, and give me recommendation of those in comment section down below. And any kind of recommendation is welcome, any kind of constructive criticism is welcome. So see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.